in the deepest stillness of a village untouched by time, where the air lingers thick with the scent of moss and the weight of forgotten years, a solitary lantern flickers. Its light, soft as the whisper of a breath, dances in the shadows of a mist-laden forest. There, beneath the trembling boughs, the lantern casts a fragile glow. But it is a glow that seems to move through the air like a secret, stretching out long shadows that reach deeper into the heart of the woods. The forest, ancient and wise, listens in silence, as if waiting for something lost to return. It is said that the lantern was placed there long ago, by hands now turned to dust, for a purpose known only to those who once walked this path. Some whisper that the light was meant to guide travelers across a boundary between worlds, marking the way to the beyond. Others claim the lantern was a warning, meant to keep those who sought the truth from ever finding it. And so it hangs there, suspended in time, casting its glow as if in defiance of the dark, as if the light itself is holding back the encroaching night. But what is the secret of this glow? And why does it flicker so faintly? Beneath the silence of the trees, beneath the pull of the mist that drifts like forgotten memories, a question stirs. Where does this light lead? What path does it illuminate? In the village that surrounds it, the echoes of forgotten voices drift on the wind. But the villagers themselves are gone, their faces no longer remembered. What remains of them are only traces, flickering lights seen on moonless nights, glimpses of figures lost in the fog. Their footsteps, once steady, now fade into the earth, leaving no mark, only the soft brush of time's hand upon the soil. There are stories, yes, old stories told in hushed tones, of those who vanished without a trace, as though the lantern had drawn them into its orbit, leading them into places where the living cannot follow. The lantern remains. Time, it seems, has not claimed it, though the village around it crumbles. The woods grow thick with thorns and the roots of ancient trees. But the lantern flickers still, stubbornly clinging to the edge of the world. It is as if it exists outside the reach of time itself, a relic of something older, something more sacred. Perhaps it is this very thing that makes the lantern so strange. It defies explanation. Some believe the lantern marks the start of a journey that must be taken, but one from which there is no return. Perhaps it is the light that guides the soul into the beyond, lighting a forgotten path to an afterlife that has slipped through the cracks of memory. The ritual that once accompanied this lantern is no longer known to any living soul, but the villagers, it is said, once followed the light in reverence, trusting that it would lead them to their place in the great cycle of life and death. In this land of mist and silence, where the veil between worlds is so thin, the lantern still holds that promise, though no one can say exactly what lies beyond. As the night deepens and the forest settles into its quiet rhythms, the lantern's glow seems to pulse with an otherworldly cadence, as if it is calling something, or perhaps someone. The soft light flickers, and shadows lengthen across the ground, stretching like fingers reaching out, as though they wish to touch something just beyond the edge of the visible. The mist swirls gently around the lantern's base, drawn toward it, as though it too cannot resist the call of the light. There are those who have wandered close to the lantern, seeking to understand its pull. But each journey has ended in uncertainty. Some speak of seeing glimpses of the past. The faces of the villagers, their expressions calm, as if they had never left. Others claim they felt a coldness, a chill that settled deep in their bones, as if the lantern were not merely a light, but a doorway into something more. And yet, when they reached out to touch it, the lantern vanished, leaving nothing but a soft echo of its light in the distance. What lies beyond the lantern's glow? Perhaps the answer is not meant to be found. Perhaps it is not for the living to know. It is said that the lantern holds within it not just light, but memory. The memories of a people, a place, a time that has been lost. Some believe that the villagers, in their wisdom, left behind this lantern as a symbol of their journey, a symbol of a passage to something greater. It is said that those who look upon it, those who stand in its glow, are not merely seeing the light of the past, but are glimpsing the threads of their own fate. The lantern's light does not show the path ahead, but instead illuminates the mysteries that lie hidden within the soul. But the path it lights is a strange one, always shifting, never fully grasped. It is a path that winds through the forgotten corners of the earth, through places where time itself seems to slow, as if caught in a dream. And though the lantern casts its soft light, it never shows the way in full. Its glow is more a question than an answer. And the shadows it casts seem to whisper of places never meant to be found. Beneath the lantern's glow, the woods grow quiet, and the mist thickens. The faint glow that once seemed so bright now appears far away, as if receding into the distance, as if it has never been there at all. The forest sighs in the stillness, and the air heavy with the weight of memory begins to settle once more. The lantern's light fades, and with it, the sounds of the village. The footsteps that once echoed across the earth fade too. Perhaps it was never meant to be found. Perhaps the lantern's glow was not for this world, but for another. A place where the living and the dead meet, where memories walk among the shadows. And so, as the final flicker of light vanishes into the dark, a silence falls over the forest. It is a silence that seems to hold all the questions of the world, but offers no answers. Only the sound of the wind, the soft rustle of the trees, and the echo of something long forgotten. The lantern has led nowhere, and yet, somehow, it has led everywhere, its light fading into the night, as if it were never truly there at all. The mystery remains, suspended in the air, drifting like a breath caught between waking and sleeping. Perhaps, in the quiet spaces between, where memory fades and time slips away, we might find the answers. But for now, all that remains is the faint glow of the lantern, a question that lingers, unanswered, in the soft dark of the world. Far beneath the surface of the world, in the stillness of the deep, there lies a garden, untouched by time, hidden in the embrace of the sea. It is a place where the light of the sun no longer reaches, where the warmth of the world above fades into the cold, infinite blue. Here, beneath the waves, the corals shimmer with an otherworldly glow, their colors muted by centuries of silence, their petals like forgotten relics that once held the whispers of a civilization now lost. In the soft dark of the ocean's depths, the garden blooms still, fragile, elusive, but undeniably alive. The corals rise from the seabed like sentinels, their forms delicate and intricate, shaped by currents that have long since ceased to matter. Each flower-like structure, each spiral of coral, speaks of a time when the sea was not a tomb, but a cradle, where life and memory were carefully nurtured. Some believe this was no ordinary garden, but a sacred space, a place of peace, cultivated by hands that no longer remember what it was like to touch the earth. It is said that the blooms once stood as symbols of harmony between the people and the sea. A garden tended to by those who knew the ancient rhythms of the world. Whispers tell of an ancient civilization, now vanished, whose wisdom flowed like the water, whose spirits merged with the ebb and flow of the tides. They tended this garden, these creators of peace, whose purpose was to cultivate not only beauty, but balance, an offering to the gods of the sea, perhaps, or a gift to the eternal currents that carried life from one shore to the next. But as time passed, the garden was abandoned, swallowed by the waves as though the sea itself had decided to hide away the memory of its creators. Perhaps the garden was forgotten, or perhaps it was always meant to fade into myth. Some say that the sea, in its infinite patience, had simply grown tired of holding the memories of those who lived in its embrace. And so, with a slow, deliberate sigh, it buried them beneath its waves. But what remains beneath the surface, where the light of the world never touches, is more than just an abandoned place. It is a silent echo of something that once was, an echo that stirs faintly in the currents, like a dream half remembered. As the water moves gently around the garden, the corals appear to breathe, their delicate forms shifting with the pull of the ocean, as if they were alive with the memories of those who once cared for them. The slow current stirs forgotten stories, tugging at the mind like a memory that refuses to be fully grasped. There are no words spoken here, only the hum of the sea and the soft whispers of the water, carrying fragments of a world long gone. Perhaps it is the garden itself that remembers, or perhaps the sea, in its eternal wisdom, holds within it the secrets of those who once tended it. What beauty lies in such a place, and what sorrow too. For as the ocean's waves rise and fall, so too do the lives that pass through its depths. It is said that the garden once bloomed in harmony, a testament to the delicate balance between the earth and the sea. But what caused its abandonment? What happened to the people who nurtured this sacred space? Were they taken by the very waters that had sustained them? Or did they vanish for some other, deeper reason, their disappearance swallowed by the ocean's endless embrace? The waters hold their breath, suspended in time as if waiting for something or someone to remember. And in this waiting, there is a sacredness, an eternal silence that speaks volumes. The slow drift of the currents, the soft flicker of light that dances across the corals, all seem to whisper of a world that no longer exists. It is as if the garden, though submerged, is waiting for the day when its memory is brought back to the surface, when someone will uncover its mysteries once more. Perhaps the garden was always meant to be a secret, hidden from the world above. Perhaps its creators, in their wisdom, understood that some beauty is too pure, too sacred to endure in the light. In the darkness of the deep, where the world above cannot reach, the garden remains a living memory, a reminder of what was once possible, of a time when peace could be cultivated, when the earth and the sea could speak the same language. And yet, it is a beauty that is destined to remain out of reach, a fleeting dream, forever suspended in the quiet of the ocean's depths. As the ocean continues its eternal cycle, the garden remains, undisturbed by the passage of time. The corals, though muted by the pressure of centuries, still shimmer faintly in the murky water. Each petal a whisper of what once was. The sea, in its vastness, holds the garden close, as if protecting it from the world above. In its deep embrace, the garden is safe, but it is also forgotten, swallowed by the very waters that gave it life. And so the question lingers: how did such beauty sink beneath the surface? And why does it remain, untouched by the hand of time? Perhaps it is the nature of the sea to keep its secrets, to hold them close until the world is ready to listen. Perhaps the garden was never meant to be found, or perhaps it will one day rise again, like a long-lost dream, when the world is ready to remember. But for now, only the sound of the ocean remains, the slow, rhythmic pulse of the deep, whispering its secrets into the quiet of the night. The garden lies beneath the waves, hidden in plain sight, waiting for those who dare to seek it, even in the darkest depths. Perhaps it was never meant to be found, or perhaps it waits for the day when the world is ready to listen once more. Until then, the ocean holds its breath, and the garden rests in the silence, a place where time fades, where memory lingers, and where the past and the present are forever entwined. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen, and the garden beneath the waves, perhaps it is one of those voices, speaking softly, in a language older than time itself. The sea has its own way of remembering, and it waits, patient and timeless, for the moment when its secrets will rise to the surface. High in the heart of a mountain range, veiled in the soft caress of mist, there once stood a temple. Its stones, now smooth and weathered by centuries of wind and rain, had long been shaped by the hands of those who sought wisdom, seekers whose names have faded into the silence of time. No one can say exactly when the temple stood, or what its true purpose was, for the records are lost, carried away by the same winds that now whisper across the jagged peaks. All that remains are the faintest echoes, like the brush of a memory just out of reach, of prayers and invocations whispered in reverence, perhaps to gods long forgotten, or to forces far older than the mountains themselves. The temple was a place of peace, they say, a place where the veil between the heavens and earth thinned, where the air was thick with the breath of the divine. It is said that the light of the sun would filter through its open arches at dawn, casting long shadows on the floor, as if the temple itself were a vessel of time, gathering the sun's rays into a sacred space. But now, only the wind lingers, its soft whispers the only testament to what was once there. The temple is gone. Or perhaps it was never truly there at all. Perhaps it was a mirage, an illusion brought forth by the mist that coils around the mountain each morning, shrouding the peak in a soft, silken veil. Beneath the gentle whisper of the wind, there is a subtle hum in the air, a vibration that seems to rise from the very stones themselves. The mountain, in its quiet dignity, holds the memory of the temple like a secret, like a dream that refuses to fade. Its silence speaks not of emptiness, but of something waiting, waiting for someone brave enough to discover what remains hidden, waiting for the one who might venture to uncover what was once lost. Yet, no one has come to claim the temple. No one has managed to find it again. The mists continue to swirl, obscuring any trace of its existence, and those who have sought the temple have been swallowed by the fog, lost to its mystery. Some say the temple was a place of great power, built to honor the celestial forces that governed the stars. Its structure was said to have been aligned with the heavens, its halls designed to catch the light of the full moon, to harness the energy of the stars as they passed overhead. The walls, some believe, were covered in intricate carvings, symbols that spoke of ancient truths, of knowledge that could never be spoken aloud. The temple was a sanctuary for the wise, a haven for those who understood the delicate balance between the earth and the sky. But over time, the temple faded, its purpose obscured by the ever-changing mists of memory. The whispers tell us that the mountain grew tired of holding its secret, that the temple vanished into the fog as if it had never existed at all. And so the mountain holds its silence. Time, like the winds that sweep across the peaks, has worn away the memories, leaving only traces, fragments of a story too distant for the mind to fully grasp. Was the temple a dream? A creation of the mist, born of the longing of those who searched for answers? Or was it real, a sacred space that now waits, hidden from those who might seek it out again? The truth, like the mountain itself, is shrouded in mystery. Some believe that the temple is still there, somewhere within the fog, that its stones still hold the energy of a forgotten time, waiting for a soul to venture into the mist and bring its secrets to light. Others, however, say that the temple was never meant to be found again, that it was a place that existed only for a brief moment in time, a sacred sanctuary that vanished as quietly as it had come. As the mists swirl around the mountain, there is a sense of something ancient, something eternal, that hangs in the air. The mountain, though silent, is not empty. The air hums with a quiet energy, as if the very earth remembers. The stones themselves seem to breathe with the memory of a place that once held great significance. Beneath the layers of mist and fog, beneath the silence, something stirs. Perhaps it is the energy of the temple itself, still alive in the mountain's heart, still waiting for someone to recognize it. Perhaps the temple was never meant to be found by many, but only by those who could hear the soft call of the mountain, who could feel its pulse beneath the mist. There are stories of those who have walked the path to the mountain's peak, only to disappear into the fog, their footsteps swallowed by the swirling mist. Some of them returned, though changed, their eyes filled with something they could not explain, as if they had glimpsed something beyond the veil of the ordinary world. Others, it is said, never returned at all. Their bodies were never found, and their names were lost to the winds. What became of them? Did they find the temple, only to be consumed by its mysteries? Or were they simply lost to the fog, swallowed by the very mountain that had once held the temple in its embrace? The mystery of the vanished temple is one that lingers in the air, as elusive and fleeting as the mist itself. It is a story that cannot be told in words, a tale too ancient to be fully understood. Some say the temple still exists, hidden somewhere within the fog, its purpose still waiting to be discovered by a soul brave enough to seek it. Others believe it was never real at all, that it was a dream born from the longing of those who sought something greater than themselves. Perhaps it was never meant to be found. Perhaps the mountain was always meant to keep its secret, a sacred space that could only be touched by those who were ready to understand. And so, the temple remains, gone, yet never gone. Its presence felt in the hum of the mountain, in the quiet whispers of the wind, in the mist that swirls like a veil around the peaks. It is as if the temple was never meant to stand forever, but to be forgotten, to fade into the mists of time, leaving only the memory of what it once was. As the sun begins to set and the mist thickens, the mountain grows still. The echoes of prayers and invocations fade into the wind, leaving only silence. The temple, if it ever existed, is no longer visible. Its stones hidden beneath the veil of fog. But even in its absence, the mystery remains, lingering in the air, suspended between what was and what is not. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen. And perhaps the temple, like all mysteries, will one day reveal itself to those who dare to seek it. Until then, the mountain holds its silence, waiting, as if it too is caught in the mist of time, its secrets waiting to be uncovered by the one who is brave enough to listen. In the heart of a forgotten castle, where the walls still hum with echoes of ancient voices, there lies a mirror, framed in tarnished silver, its edges worn smooth by the hands of time. This mirror rests quietly in a chamber untouched by the rush of the outside world. It is said that no one knows where it came from, nor why it was placed here in this shadowed corner of the crumbling fortress. Yet those who have dared to stand before it have spoken of its power, not to reflect the world around it, but to reveal something deeper, something hidden, a reflection of the emotions far beyond the earthly realm. It is said that when the sun sets and the light begins to fade from the land, the mirror comes to life. The soft glow of twilight dances across its surface, and the reflection that emerges is not of the stone walls or the moonlit halls, but something more ethereal. Some whisper that the mirror reflects not the world, but the sorrow of the sky itself, its tears, falling for the lost civilizations and dreams long forgotten. In the stillness of the evening, the mirror seems to hold the weight of the heavens, as if it bears witness to all that has faded away, to all that has been lost to the passage of time. The tears of stars, it is said, ripple across the mirror's surface, each droplet a reflection of ancient longing, each shimmer a memory of distant lands, now lost beneath the weight of history. Those who gaze into the mirror's depths often find themselves drawn into its gaze, unable to look away. For as the stars weep, the mirror seems to show not only the past, but also glimpses of the future, visions of places unknown, of events yet to unfold, of lives yet to be lived. It is as though the mirror holds the pulse of time itself, catching the fleeting moments between the stars, showing them to those who dare to see. But there is a warning, a soft, quiet warning that follows the mirror wherever it rests. For those who look too long into its depths, who lose themselves in its tear-streaked reflection, are said to disappear, swallowed by the endless ocean of images and emotions that the mirror reveals. There are stories of those who came to the mirror seeking answers, only to find themselves trapped within its shimmering surface, their minds adrift in the currents of time. They sought to understand the world, to glimpse what lay beyond the veil of the present, but they found themselves lost instead, lost within the very reflection they sought to understand. Whispers tell us that the mirror does not simply reflect what is seen, it also reflects what is felt. It is said that to gaze upon it is to peer not only into distant lands or into the future, but into the deepest recesses of one's own heart, to confront the emotions that lie buried beneath the surface. For some, it is a revelation, a glimpse into the heart of the world itself, a world marked by both beauty and sorrow. For others, it is a trap, a trick of the light, drawing them in until they are lost, unable to return to the world they once knew. The mirror, it seems, is a place of both power and danger. Some believe it is a window into the soul of the world, a sacred relic that holds the memories of all who have passed. They speak of it as a vessel for the tears of the stars, the sorrow of the heavens, a mirror that shows not only the light of the stars, but the darkness that lies beneath. It is said that the mirror was created long ago, by hands now forgotten, for purposes known only to those who lived in a time long since past. What wisdom it holds, or what secrets it hides, no one can say for certain. Some say the mirror was made to capture the essence of the cosmos itself, to hold within it the reflection of all that has been and all that will be. It is a mirror that reflects more than just images. It reflects the emotions, the very soul of the universe. And yet, there are those who believe it was never meant to be understood at all. Perhaps it was meant to be a reflection of something too vast, too unknowable, to be grasped by the mind. Perhaps it was meant to remain a mystery, a question without answer, a symbol of the unknowable forces that shape the universe. In the quiet of the castle, where the only sounds are the soft sighs of the wind and the slow ticking of an ancient clock, the mirror rests, its surface still and undisturbed. The chamber is filled with the smell of dust, the air thick with the weight of centuries. The light from the setting sun bathes the room in a golden glow, casting long shadows on the stone floor. And as the light fades, the mirror comes to life, reflecting the stars that begin to twinkle faintly in the night sky. For a brief moment, the room is filled with a soft, otherworldly glow, as if the mirror has captured the very light of the heavens. And yet, there is something haunting about the mirror. It is not a simple reflection. It is a portal, a gateway to a place that exists between the world of the living and the realm of the stars. It is a mirror that reflects not just the external world, but the world within, the world of emotions, dreams, and memories. It is a mirror that holds the weight of all that has been lost, all that has been forgotten, and all that is yet to come. As the night deepens and the stars grow brighter, the mirror seems to hum with a quiet energy, as if it is speaking, or perhaps listening. Some believe it is waiting for the one who will truly understand it, the one who will see beyond its surface, beyond the reflection of the stars, and uncover the secrets it holds. But perhaps, as others say, the mirror is simply a trick of the light, a creation of illusion, born from the fleeting moments of time and the echo of dreams that fade as quickly as they come. The truth of the mirror remains unanswered, suspended in the silence of the castle, lost in the depths of time. Is it a window into the soul of the world, or a reflection of a forgotten dream? Does it hold the tears of the stars, or is it merely a relic of a long-gone age, lost to the mists of history? Perhaps it was never meant to be understood at all, but only to be seen, to be experienced in the quiet moments when the world itself seems to hold its breath. As the moon rises high above, casting its silver light upon the castle, the mirror rests in its chamber, its surface still and silent once more. The stars twinkle softly in the night sky, and the air is thick with the weight of forgotten truths. Perhaps the mirror's secrets will one day be revealed, or perhaps they will remain forever hidden, waiting for the one soul brave enough to peer into its depths. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen, and perhaps, in the quiet spaces between dreams, the mirror will reveal itself, not as a reflection of the world we know, but as a glimpse into the soul of the universe itself, waiting for the moment when we are ready to understand. Until then, it rests, shrouded in mystery, its silvered surface reflecting the eternal tears of the stars. In the vast, endless expanse of the desert, where the heat quivers like a forgotten memory, the earth stretches out, barren and still, beneath a sky heavy with the weight of time. There is no sound here, only the soft, relentless whisper of the wind, swirling grains of sand that have known the passage of centuries. In this emptiness, where the sun bakes the land and the night brings no relief, there is a story hidden, a secret buried beneath the dunes. It is a kingdom, lost to the world, its grand palaces now swallowed by the very sands that once sustained it. Beneath the earth's warm embrace, beneath the shifting tides of dust, the city lies in wait, its streets, its temples, its walls all but forgotten, preserved in silence as the sands roll over them like an ancient tide. Whispers tell us that this was a place of wonder, a kingdom built not with stone alone, but with the wisdom of the stars, a city crafted from the very breath of the desert winds. Its people were said to be those who understood the language of the heavens, who could read the patterns of the stars like sacred scrolls, who bent the forces of nature to their will. They called upon the desert, not as a barren wasteland, but as a living entity, as something alive and breathing, its soul intertwined with the cosmos. Some say that the kingdom's rulers were kings and queens of celestial knowledge, their wisdom so vast that it echoed through the very bones of the earth. The desert winds themselves, it is said, carried whispers of their greatness across the sands, their voices like a soft song in the wind, reaching the farthest corners of the earth. The city was alive, humming with the energy of 1,000 stars. Its palaces glimmered beneath the desert sun, their walls adorned with patterns that mirrored the constellations above, as if the heavens had gifted them their design. But all of this celestial wonder, has faded. The winds that once spoke of it now carry only silence, their voices lost to the endless dunes. For centuries, the desert has swallowed the kingdom whole, its memory fading into the dust. Those who sought the city in hope of finding its riches, its treasures of knowledge, were never seen again. They ventured into the desert's heart, drawn by the myth of the kingdom's existence. Yet the sands claimed them, as they had claimed the kingdom itself. The desert, it seems, does not give up its secrets easily. It holds its silence like a sacred promise, keeping the memory of the city hidden beneath layers of shifting dust and forgotten time. There is a weight to the silence here, a deep, sacred stillness that pervades the air. The wind, once a messenger of wisdom, now carries only a faint echo of the past. The city beneath the sands has no name, no face, only a sense of something that once was. The ruins lie beneath the surface, veiled by time and the shifting tides of the desert. And yet, even in its silence, the desert whispers. Perhaps it is the wind that remembers, the air that has carried the secrets of the lost kingdom for centuries, lingering in the dust, waiting for someone to listen. Some say that the city was never meant to be found. It was a place of great power, built by those who understood the fragile balance between the earth and the stars. The kingdom's rulers, guided by their knowledge of the celestial realm, constructed their city in perfect harmony with the desert, as if it were a living extension of the very winds that swept across the dunes. They knew the desert's rhythms as one might know the pulse of their own heart, and in their wisdom, they built not only a kingdom, but a sanctuary, a place where the earth and the heavens met, where the stars were reflected in the very sands. But over time, the desert began to reclaim its territory. Slowly, the city was swallowed, its people fading from memory. The wind began to carry not the whispers of wisdom, but the silence of absence. What remains now is only a faint imprint, a memory that lingers in the heat, in the quiet, and in the spaces between the breaths of the wind. The desert has claimed it, and in doing so, it has kept the kingdom's secret, buried in its shifting sands. The ruins, though buried deep beneath the dunes, still exist in the hearts of those who dare to remember. Some believe that the kingdom still lives, hidden beneath the earth, waiting for the right soul to unearth its secrets. The desert, they say, is not just a place of death, but a place of life, a living memory that holds the wisdom of the ages. The kingdom may be gone, but its soul, its essence, lingers beneath the sands, waiting for the one who dares to listen to the whispers of the wind. And so, as the desert stretches out in all its vast emptiness, the mystery remains. The kingdom beneath the desert's breath, its story suspended in time, its truth buried beneath the weight of the earth, holds a power that no one has yet fully understood. The sands may obscure the city, may hide its streets and palaces, but they do not erase the kingdom's essence. It is said that the desert is not merely a grave, but a keeper of stories, stories that only the wind can tell, stories that only those who are attuned to its rhythms can hear. The wind moves through the dunes like a soft breath, carrying with it fragments of forgotten truths. It is as if the desert itself is waiting for someone who dares to listen, who dares to seek what lies beneath the sands. What truths are hidden there? What knowledge remains, preserved in the earth and the silence? The answer is elusive, like a dream half remembered, a secret that refuses to be fully grasped. Perhaps the kingdom was never meant to be found again. Perhaps it was always meant to remain buried, its memory sealed beneath the desert's shifting sands. Some believe that the desert holds the kingdom as a sacred treasure, a secret too great for the world to bear. And perhaps, in the quiet spaces between the breaths of the wind, in the stillness of the night, we may glimpse the truth. But until then, the desert remains, a living memory, a keeper of forgotten stories. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen, and perhaps, in the silence of the desert, the kingdom's story will one day rise to the surface, its secrets whispered once more by the wind. But for now, it waits. Beneath the breath of the desert, beneath the shifting sands, where time itself fades away, and the echoes of the past are carried by the wind. In the heart of a city, consumed by fire, a set of bells rings out, their notes soft and sorrowful. The sound is faint, carried by the wind, drifting through the smoke and the dust of the once thriving place, now reduced to nothing but charred remnants and silent ruins. The flames that ravaged the city left no trace but ash, no memory but the heat that lingered in the earth long after the fire was gone. And yet, amidst the desolation, the bells remain. Their sound, though barely audible, rises like a soft prayer, a cry from the depths of time, echoing through the emptiness of a city that no longer stands. These bells were once known to mark the passage of time. In the days before the fire, They were sounded at dawn and dusk, their chimes welcoming the day and bidding farewell to the night. They marked the rhythm of life, steady and eternal, like the breath of the world itself. The people who lived here, whose voices once filled the streets, had heard these bells and lived by their call. But now, the bells toll not for the living, but for the dead, mourning not the passage of hours, but the loss of all that was. They sing a song of sorrow, a lament for the civilization that was, now only a shadow in the smoke. It is said that these bells were not just instruments of time, but carriers of something deeper. Some believe they were created by an ancient civilization, crafted with care and reverence to ward off darkness, to keep the night at bay with their ringing, to remind the people that the light would always return. Others whispered that they were forged as the last prayers of a doomed people, each note a final plea, a cry to the gods for salvation, as the city was swallowed by flames. But the truth of their origin is lost to history, hidden in the ashes of time, as elusive as the smoke that rises into the sky. The bells themselves are weathered, their surfaces scarred by years of exposure to the elements. Yet they still stand, resolute in their silent defiance of the fire. The bronze, though tarnished and faded, still reflects the faint light of the setting sun, casting long shadows across the ruins. The ropes that once rang them lie in tatters, their frayed ends blown away by the wind. And still, they toll. It is as if the bells refuse to forget, as if they hold within them the memory of something once beautiful, something once alive, a testament to a time long past. Some say that the fire was not an accident, that it was an act of divine retribution, a punishment for something that had been done, something unspeakable that had taken place in the heart of the city. Perhaps the bells were meant to be a warning, a reminder that even the brightest of lights could be consumed by darkness. Or perhaps they were a gift, created by a civilization that understood the fragile balance between light and shadow, between life and death. But no matter the reason for the fire, the bells remain, tolling their mournful song as if time itself has been suspended, as if the memory of the city lives on in the very sound of their chimes. As the wind picks up, the sound of the bells grows louder, as if the wind itself is carrying the song through the ruins. The chimes rise and fall, echoing through the empty streets, reverberating off the broken walls and shattered statues. It is as if the city, though gone, is still alive, still present in the sound of the bells. They seem to sing not only for the city's past, but for its future, for the time when the ashes will be swept away, when new life will emerge from the ruins. But for now, the bells toll for what is lost, what can never be reclaimed. It is said that those who hear the bells are touched by the weight of their sorrow, moved by the song of mourning that they carry. Some say the sound brings tears to their eyes, not because of the sadness it evokes, but because of the deep, ancient wisdom it holds, wisdom that speaks of the inevitability of change, the impermanence of all things. The bells toll not just for the city, but for every civilization that has risen and fallen, for every dream that has burned brightly and then faded into the night. They sing a song of remembrance, a hymn to those who came before, and a prayer for those who will come after. And as the last light of the day fades and the sky turns to dusk, the sound of the bells softens, drifting gently through the ruins. The chimes grow fainter, their song slipping away into the silence of the night. The wind carries their final notes, and for a moment, it seems as though the world itself holds its breath, suspended between the past and the present, between memory and oblivion. In the stillness, the bells are no more than an echo, a whisper carried on the wind. And with that whisper, the story fades, leaving only the quiet murmur of the night. Perhaps it is in the silence that the true meaning of the bells is found, not in their sound, but in what they leave behind. For in their ringing, they carry a memory, a reminder that some things endure even in the face of destruction. The city may have burned, its streets consumed by fire, but the bells remain, their song etched into the very air, a song that will never be fully erased. They toll not just for the city, but for all things that pass through the flames, for all things that are lost and never forgotten. As the night deepens and the last echoes of the bells fade into the distance, the silence grows, vast and infinite, stretching out across the ruins. The city, now a shadow, lies beneath the stars, and in the stillness, the bells are but a memory, a sound that once filled the air, now lingering in the heart of death. Their song may fade, but their echo remains, reverberating through the darkness, a reminder that some memories endure, even in the face of time's relentless passage. Perhaps it was never meant to be fully understood. Perhaps the bells, like the city they once called home, were always meant to fade into the dust. But in their fading, they leave behind a truth, that some things are eternal, that some songs are never truly silenced, and that even in the ashes, something beautiful can remain. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen, and in the faintest chime we are left to wonder, what is it that endures in the silence? High above the clouds, where the air is thin and the wind hums like a distant song, there once stood a city of marble and light. Its towers stretched towards the heavens, reaching for the stars as if to touch the very fabric of the universe itself. It is said that the city glimmered in the moonlight, its streets bathed in a golden glow, its spires rising from the earth like a divine promise. The people who lived there, it is whispered, were not just masters of stone and craft, but were attuned to the stars themselves. Their city was more than a place. It was a vessel, a place where the sky met the earth, where the heavens spoke to those who dared listen. But now, that city is no more. Its marble towers have crumbled, its halls lie silent and empty. The city, once a beacon of light, is lost to time, consumed by the slow, inevitable erosion of centuries. The stones, worn and weathered, remain, silent witnesses to the passage of an era long gone. Yet, beneath the silence of the ruins, there is a hum, a faint vibration, as if the very stones themselves still remember the light that once bathed them. And above, the stars continue to twinkle, their cold light casting shadows over the forgotten city. Was it ever real, this city? Or was it a myth, a dream, spun from the threads of ancient imagination? Perhaps it existed only in the minds of those who longed for a place where the heavens could be touched, where the stars themselves would whisper secrets of the universe to those who listened. Some say the city was built by a people who had mastered the art of seeing beyond the visible, who understood the language of the stars and could speak it as easily as they spoke the language of the earth. Their knowledge was vast, their wisdom profound. It is said that the city was a place where dreams were woven into reality, where the boundaries between the celestial and the terrestrial blurred, and where the soul could soar to the very edge of the cosmos. As the night deepens and the silence grows, we wander through the ruins, our steps echoing softly across the forgotten streets. Each stone beneath our feet seems to hum with the memory of something sacred, something powerful. The air is thick with the weight of the past, and the faintest breeze carries the scent of something ancient, something that has slipped through the cracks of time, yet still lingers in the quiet corners of the world. The city's walls, now crumbling and overgrown with vines, still hold traces of its former glory. Faint etchings, worn by centuries of wind and rain, can be seen in the stones, symbols of the stars, maps of the heavens that once guided the people of this forgotten place. It is said that the city's people were the children of the stars born beneath the celestial canopy, and that they built their city not to stand against time, but to be in harmony with it. The city was designed with the cosmos in mind, its streets laid out in patterns that mirrored the stars themselves, its towers aligned with the movements of the heavens. The very foundations of the city were laid with reverence for the celestial forces. And it is said that the people believed their city was a conduit for the divine. The sky, they believed, was not distant but close, an intimate presence that shaped their lives in ways unseen. The stars were not just distant lights in the sky, but living, breathing entities that spoke to those who were attuned to their whispers. But now the stars are silent, their light cold and distant, their voices lost to time. The people who once lived beneath their glow have faded into the sands of memory, their names lost to the ages. The city that was said to be a place of eternal light is now a shadow, a faint echo of what it once was. The towers, once proud and tall, have crumbled into dust, their foundations buried beneath the earth. And yet, in the stillness of the night, the city lingers. Its presence hangs in the air like a forgotten prayer, suspended in the space between sleep and waking, between the world we know and the mysteries that lie just beyond our reach. Some believe that the city was never meant to be found again, that it was always destined to fade into the shadows of history, to become nothing more than a legend, a whisper in the wind. Perhaps the city was a gift, a fleeting moment in time, a place where the divine touched the earth, and the stars spoke to the hearts of those who were ready to listen. And now, as the stars continue their eternal dance across the sky, the city has slipped into the realm of memory, where it waits, waiting to be remembered, waiting to be discovered by those whose hearts are open to the mysteries of the world. And so, we stand in the ruins, the night stretching endlessly above us, the stars shining cold and bright, their distant light casting a faint glow on the forgotten city. The air is still, and the silence is deep, broken only by the soft rustling of the wind through the crumbling stones. The city is lost, yet it remains, its echoes still alive in the very stones that once held its soul. The city's memory lingers in the air, like a dream half remembered, like a song that fades just as we begin to understand its melody. Perhaps it was never meant to be found again. Perhaps it was a place of such beauty and power that it could not remain in the world, a place that was always destined to vanish when its time was up. Or perhaps it was meant to remain a secret, a hidden gem in the vastness of the world, waiting for the right soul to stumble upon it, to listen to its silent song, to hear the whispers of the stars. The truth of the city remains lost in the mists of time, its story suspended in the air, its secrets locked away in the hearts of those who once knew it. The stars continued to shine above, their light as distant as ever. Yet still, their glow casts a faint trace of their presence across the ruins. The city of stars, forgotten by time, lingers in the space between sleep and waking, between the known and the unknown. It is a city that exists only in the quiet places of the world, in the spaces where memory fades and the past mingles with the present. And in the stillness of the night, as the stars shine down, we are left to wonder. Was it ever real, this city of light? Or was it always a dream? Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen. And perhaps, in the silence of the ruins, in the space between the stars, the city will speak once more to those who are willing to hear its call. Until then, it remains suspended in time. A story lost in the dark void between sleep and waking. A forgotten prayer carried on the wind. In a forgotten corner of the earth, where the wind whispers through the ruins of ancient stone, there was once a song. It is said that the voices of an entire people carried across the vast expanse of time, unbroken by the years, unshadowed by the fading light of memory. This song was no ordinary melody. It was a sacred hymn, woven into the very fabric of the earth and sky. Its notes were said to rise from the depths of the earth and soar to the heavens, binding the two in a delicate, harmonious dance. With each breath, each pause, the song reached further into the unknown, touching the divine and the eternal. But now, the song is no more. All that remains is the wind, the same wind that once carried the voices, now silent, save for the faintest traces of the melody it used to carry. These whispers, delicate and fleeting, are all that is left. The song, like a dream fading with the dawn, has slipped through the cracks of history, leaving only an echo in the air, a ghost of something once sacred. The people who sang it are gone, their voices lost to the dust of time, their language now forgotten, as if it had never been. As we stand amidst the ruins of their city, where the stones once vibrated with the resonance of their song, we are left to wonder. What became of this music? What truth did it carry? The ruins, crumbled by the slow passage of time, offer no answers. The earth beneath our feet is thick with dust, the wind carrying away any trace of the melody, leaving only the hollow silence. But if we listen closely, if we hold our breath and surrender ourselves to the quiet, we can still feel the faintest stirrings of the song, just beyond our reach, just beneath the surface of the air. It is said that this song was not simply a melody, but a language that could bind the earth to the sky, the sacred to the profane, the divine to the human. It was a language older than words, older than time itself, perhaps even older than the people who sang it. Some believe that this song held the power to open doors between worlds, to bridge the gap between the living and the dead, the mortal and the eternal. It was said that the people who sang it were not merely singers, but keepers of an ancient knowledge. Their voices a conduit for a divine power that flowed through them like a current that connected all things, that connected them to the very breath of the universe. As the song wove through the air, it resonated with something deeper, something that went beyond the reach of human understanding. Each note was a prayer, each pause a breath of the divine. The song was alive, as much a part of the earth as the soil beneath the feet of those who sang it, as much a part of the sky as the stars that shone above. In their voices, The people held the power to speak the language of the heavens, to echo the song of the stars themselves. Their melody was said to be a bridge between the human and the celestial, a sacred offering to the gods, a gift to the world beyond. But the winds of time are relentless. The people who once sang this song, who once spoke with the very breath of the earth, faded away. It is said that the stars themselves wept as their voices grew fainter, their final notes lost to the silence of the ages. The song, once carried on the wings of the wind, began to slip from memory, becoming nothing more than a distant echo, fading slowly into the past. The language, once spoken with such clarity, now lies forgotten, its sacred syllables buried beneath the dust of forgotten histories. The people are no more, their voices now only a whisper on the wind. Yet still, the wind carries their song. Though their voices have long since faded, the wind seems to remember, holding within it the faintest remnants of their melody. If one listens closely, in the quietest moments of the day or the stillness of the night, the wind will hum softly, as though it is trying to recall the words of a song long lost. But it is only a shadow of what once was, a fragment of something too sacred to ever be fully known again. Perhaps this is how it was always meant to be, that the song would never be fully understood, that it would always remain just beyond reach, a mystery suspended between worlds, forever incomplete. Some say that the song is still out there, lingering in the winds, waiting for the right soul to hear it, to decipher its hidden meaning. They believe that one day, when the time is right, the song will be heard once more in its full and radiant glory, and the knowledge it carried will be passed on to those who are ready to listen. Others believe that the song was never meant to be fully understood, that it was always meant to fade into the silence, to leave only its echoes, its memory, behind. Perhaps it was a gift, a fleeting moment of beauty and wisdom, meant to remind us of something greater, something beyond our comprehension. As we walk through the ruins, as the sun sets and the wind picks up, the song's faint echoes rise once again, carried by the breeze, swirling through the empty streets, slipping through the cracks in the broken stones. The ruins stand as silent witnesses to what was once there, a city alive with song, a city where the wind itself carried the essence of the divine. Now it is all but gone, a forgotten memory buried beneath the weight of time. But the wind still remembers. The last notes of the song fade as the night deepens, and the wind grows still once more. The city, now only a shadow of its former self, lies silent beneath the soft gaze of the stars. The song is no more, and yet it remains. Perhaps it was never meant to be fully understood, never meant to be completed. Some say that some songs are meant to become part of the silence, part of the breath of the earth. And in that silence, in the space where the song once lived, we are left to reflect on the mystery that remains. For some songs are not meant to be sung forever, but only to be heard in fleeting moments, in whispers carried by the wind. And in those whispers, we hear not just the melody of the past, but the promise of something that lives on, just beyond the veil. Perhaps, in time, we will come to understand the meaning of the song. But for now, it remains a mystery, one that we can only hold in our hearts, as we listen to the echoes of the wind. Perhaps it was never meant to be found. Perhaps, like the wind itself, It was always meant to pass through the silence, to be carried away by time and memory, leaving only a soft breath on the air. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen. And when we are ready, we will hear them again in the wind. In the stillness of an ancient chapel, hidden deep within the earth's embrace, a single candle flickers. Its flame trembles like a fragile hope in the dark, casting a soft golden glow that dances gently across the time-worn stones beneath it. The light is faint, yet it lingers, as though it carries with it the weight of 1,000 unspoken stories, 1,000 forgotten prayers. The air is thick with the scent of old incense and the weight of silence, a silence that has stretched across the chapel for centuries. Each breath of wind that brushes against the stone seems to carry the breath of history, the exhale of those long past, their words now little more than echoes caught in the folds of time. It is said that no one remembers how the candle came to be. Its origin is lost, swallowed by the chapel's silence, by the earth itself. Yet here it remains, burning quietly in the dimness, its wax dripping slowly down its sides, each droplet marking the passage of time. The flame wavers with the gentlest breath of air, yet refuses to die. It is as if the candle knows something that we do not, a secret hidden within the shadows, a truth veiled in the darkness of this forgotten place. Some believe that this candle's light is the last remnant of a journey that began with a path leading somewhere, only to fade into nothing. As we stand before the flickering flame, its glow casting long, soft shadows on the walls, the chapel seems to hold its breath. The walls, once vibrant with the sounds of prayer and life, now stand in silence, worn by the slow erosion of time. The stone beneath our feet is cold, and the air feels heavy, as though the chapel is holding on to something it cannot let go. The candle, so small in comparison to the vastness of the darkness around it, burns quietly, its light barely a whisper in the deep quiet of the space. Yet still, it casts its glow, gentle, persistent, across the room, as though it is searching for something just beyond its reach. The path the candle illuminates is unclear, its edges blurred, as if it leads to nowhere. Perhaps it is a path that once was, a journey that once had meaning, but now it stretches out into the void, fading into darkness. The candle flickers once more, casting a shadow on the walls that seems to stretch, reaching for something just beyond our understanding. What is it that the light seeks? What is it that the flame is trying to reveal? And why does it burn still, when all around it has fallen into silence, into oblivion? Whispers tell us that the candle is not just a flame, but a symbol of a great journey that once began in hope, but ended in uncertainty. Perhaps it was lit by those who once sought to understand something greater, something hidden beneath the surface of the world. A truth that they believed lay beyond the reach of ordinary vision. Perhaps it was meant to guide them, to light their way as they walked down a path that was always meant to fade. The candle, they say, is the last trace of that journey, the last echo of a story that no one remembers but the chapel itself. But the path it illuminated has long since disappeared. The light, though steady, is now cast over nothing. The shadows that dance on the walls are not shadows of anything real, but shadows of something lost, something forgotten. The candle flickers again, its flame waning, casting a final shadow that stretches farther into the unknown. It seems as though the flame knows that its time is coming to an end, that it can no longer hold on to the memory of a path that leads to nowhere. As the wax melts away, the light dims, fading ever so gently into the dark. The chapel, once full of purpose and hope, now holds only silence. And yet, even as the candle's light begins to fade, there is something profound in its quiet, gentle presence. In the soft glow, we are reminded that not all paths are meant to be understood. Not all journeys are meant to have a destination. Perhaps the candle's flame was never meant to lead anyone anywhere. Perhaps it was meant only to remind us of the beauty of the journey itself, of the quiet persistence that endures, even in the face of the unknown, of the way that light can linger even when everything around it fades. As the flame flickers once more, casting a final tender shadow upon the bundle's shelves, we are left to wonder, what truth did the candle seek? What secret did it hold in its fragile flame? And what of the path it once illuminated? Does it still exist in the silence, waiting to be rediscovered? Or has it vanished entirely, swallowed by the darkness? The candle burns lower still, its light growing softer with each passing moment. The chapel is still. The air is thick with the weight of unanswered questions. As the last drop of wax falls, the flame flickers for a final time, leaving only the faintest glow in its wake. A glow that, like the path it illuminated, fades into the darkness. And as it fades, the silence that remains is deeper than any song could ever be. It is a silence that holds the weight of forgotten stories, of untold truths, and of a journey that began with hope but ended in the quiet stillness of the night. Perhaps the candle was never meant to lead us anywhere, but simply to remind us of the power of light in the face of darkness. Perhaps the path it illuminated was not meant to be found, but only to be felt in the heart, to be carried within us like a memory we cannot fully grasp. And perhaps in the quietest corners of the world, in the places where the light flickers and fades, we find the deepest truths of all. Some paths lead nowhere, and yet they are worth walking. Some lights burn quietly, gently, reminding us that even in the darkest places, something remains. Perhaps it was never meant to be fully understood, this candle's light, this journey that fades into the void. But as its flame flickers one last time, we are left with a soft, gentle glow, an echo of something eternal, something that will never truly vanish. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen. And in the silence that follows, we are left suspended, waiting, as the candle's light fades into the darkness, leaving only its faint memory behind. In the heart of an ancient temple, nestled among crumbling stones and forgotten altars, there hangs a veil, delicate, shimmering, like a whisper suspended in time. It is woven from silk so fine that it seems to capture the very essence of the light that surrounds it, as though it breathes with the pulse of the universe itself. The veil, though untouched by the hands of men for centuries, remains as still as the mountain air. And yet, it shivers with the quiet energy of something profound, something ancient. It is said that this veil does not simply hang between the walls of this forgotten place. It hangs between two worlds. One side belongs to the living, where the pulse of breath and the beating of hearts mark the passage of time. The other side, where the veil softly ripples, is the realm of the dead. A place where souls, once vibrant with life, now rest, their whispers carried on the breeze like prayers unanswered. Some believe the veil is not merely a barrier, but a boundary, a thin line separating two realities, two dimensions of existence. The veil has been here, in this temple, for as long as memory reaches. It is woven into the very fabric of the temple itself, its edges blurred by the hands of those who dared not approach it. The stories of those who entered the temple and stood before the veil are few, and even fewer are the ones who return to tell the tale. Some say they caught glimpses of something on the other side, fragments of shadow, fleeting figures, their faces pale with the stillness of eternity. Others claim to have heard voices, faint and distant, their words indistinguishable, like murmurs of forgotten prayers that no mortal ear was meant to hear. The veil is untouched because it is sacred, perhaps too sacred for the living to disturb. In the quiet of the temple, it hangs there, timeless, as though it knows the danger of crossing the threshold. Those who have passed beyond the veil are said to remain there, their essence woven into the very fabric of the temple, their voices becoming part of the wind. Whispers tell us that, at times, the veil shimmers with the softest glow, as though the spirits on the other side are reaching out, beckoning the living to step closer, to peer into the mysteries that lie hidden in the dark. But no one dares to approach the veil. Fear, deep and ancient, holds them back, for to cross into the realm beyond is to risk losing oneself in the quiet eternity of the other side. It is said that those who step too close never return, their bodies found in the temple, their eyes wide with the terror of what they saw, though they could not speak of it. Perhaps it is not the veil itself that causes this fear, but the deep knowledge that some mysteries are meant to remain undisturbed, that the divide between life and death is not meant to be crossed. Yet, as the night deepens, a quiet curiosity stirs, as if the veil itself is calling, inviting those who are brave enough to step closer. The moonlight, pale and ethereal, spills through cracks in the temple's ancient stone, casting soft shadows across the floor. The wind picks up, carrying with it the faintest murmur, like a voice from a dream, just beyond the edge of hearing. In the stillness, the veil sways gently, as if it knows it is being watched. The faintest ripple dances across its surface, as though something on the other side is reaching toward the living just beyond the reach of understanding. The stories of the veil are fragmented, spoken of only in whispers. It is said that some who have stood before it have felt a strange pattern, a sense of knowing, a deep, unshakable connection between themselves and the world on the other side. Perhaps it is a longing, the desire to know what lies beyond. Or perhaps it is a call from those who once walked this earth, now resting in the silence of the beyond. The veil is not just a barrier, it is a reminder of the delicate balance between life and death, between the mortal world and the divine. It is said that the veil has always existed, waiting for the right moment, the right soul to approach, to peer through the fabric of time and space, to glimpse what lies hidden beneath the silence. The light flickers, soft and steady, casting a dim glow on the temple's worn walls, and for a brief moment, it seems as though the veil is alive with the memories of those who once gathered here, their voices now silent, their prayers lost to the winds of time. The soft ripple of the silk seems to breathe with the air itself, as if the veil is caught in the rhythm of the world's breath. And in that moment, the question arises: what truth lies on the other side? what is hidden behind this fragile, sacred barrier. Some believe that the veil is a doorway, one that, if crossed, will reveal the hidden truths of the universe, the secrets whispered between life and death, between the living and the dead. It is said that if one dares to pass through, they will find themselves in a place where the past and future are no longer bound by time, where the souls of the departed linger, offering knowledge that no mortal could understand. But even if the veil were parted, even if the secrets were revealed, would we understand them? Would we, as living beings, be ready to grasp the weight of eternity? As the hours pass and the moon rises higher, the veil shimmers softly in the darkened chapel, its edges indistinct, blending into the night. The wind whispers, carrying with it echoes of voices long gone, the faintest traces of forgotten prayers, lost stories that float just out of reach. The veil remains, as it always has, suspended between two worlds, between the known and the unknown, between the living and the dead. It is both a barrier and a bridge, a doorway to something beyond comprehension, and yet, perhaps, it is a reminder that not all answers are meant to be known. The final reflection of moonlight fades from the veil as the night deepens and the wind calms, leaving behind only the stillness of the temple. The veil hangs gently, like a breath caught in time, a reminder of all that is hidden, all that is beyond our understanding. Perhaps it was never meant to be crossed, never meant to be fully understood. Perhaps it exists as a place where the living and the dead can meet, a space where the echoes of the past linger, suspended in the space between two worlds. And as we stand in the silence, we are left with the gentle question that remains in the air. What lies beyond the veil? And why does it continue to sway in the breeze? A soft reminder of the mysteries that lie just beyond reach. Perhaps it was never meant to be found, or perhaps in time the veil will open, and we will be ready to listen to what has been waiting there all along. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen. And perhaps, in that quiet moment, the veil will whisper its secrets.